What up, guys? It's your boy on Team Jarman coming at you with another deck profile. A deck I personally get to see played enough, and really, it's still good, even in link format. Deskbots, yup. Just because, you know, you can still get over your opponent's monsters, you can still break their boards, do one-turn OTKs. I might be posting another video showing about like deskbot tips and tricks because it can get a little confusing. But let's get right into the deck profile. So I run 2-1s personally just because they're the tuners. They get 500 attack and defense for every machine time monster you got on board and everything. And pretty much you're gonna keep summoning him out to keep secret summoning. Next up we got the 3-2s. Just because when they're special summoned, then you get to add this by card from your deck to your hand, and they give all machine time monsters on board 500 attack and defense. Next up, we got your Playmaker Despot 3. Just because when he's summoned out, you get a special one from the deck, and you could target a Despot monster, and he gets 500 attack and defense for every Despot card on your field, which is really good. Next, you got your Despot 4s, or I like to call them your one-punch mins, because once you attack with him, you drop one from your deck to gain 500 attack and defense for every level it has. Your opponent is not going to have enough. Your opponent is not going to have a monster with enough attack on board to stop it. And then, if you destroy a monster, you get a special 2 from your graveyard, your hand, or a combination. Next, we have Despot 5s. I got 2 Despot 5s. It's got a good on-summon effect. When it's normal special summon, you get to pop a spell and travel on board. On top of that, if it's in the pension zone and gets popped, then you get the special one from Grave, which is also nice. Next, we got 3 Despot 6s, just because its pendulum effect is good. When it gets popped in the pendulum zone, you get add Despot card from your graveyard to your hand. And with its normal special summon, you can change a card's battle position, which could be good for you depending on how early in the duel it is. But that ain't, pendulums. So you get your pendulums out. Next up, we got Despot 7. 3 Despot 7s. Unlike 5 and 6, it doesn't have a pendulum effect when it is popped. But what it does have is piercing. And it gains 500 attack and defense for every Despot card in your graveyard. So good. So 7 is really good in the mid to late game, because then you're gonna have a constant like 3,000, 4,000 beast dead that can do piercing. And if you have 2 on board, your opponent can't attack none of your Despot cards. So it locks them out the duel while you get 4,000 beast sticks they can't get over. And we got 3-8s. 3-8s, just like 7, doesn't have a pendulum effect when it's popped or anything, but you have 2 on board. None of your whole entire board cannot be targeted, because when 2 8s are on board, none of your Despot cards can be targeted. So your opponent will have to use the cards like Regeki to destroy your whole board and everything. On top of that, then for 8, you could just attack twice on every battle phase for every 8. So it's like a dark matter without all the Xing and detaching and whatnot, and it's just really good. Same thing like 7, gains 5 attack defense for every Despot card in your grave. Next thing, we got 3 9s to kind of F you to the deck. Because when 9 battles, your opponent can't activate anything until the end of that damage step. It can also eat up the attacks of all other Despots what it's currently at. So you can get 9 to be a really, really beefy 9. And then swing and just go for game. On top of that, it has self-protection. So if it will be destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can destroy another Despot card you control instead. Next, we're going to move into the spells. I got 3 Despot bases. Just for the simple fact of recycling, you reveal some, shuffle it back in, draw the same number of amount, gives all your Despots 500 attack and defense, and on top of that, you can banish 9 different Despot cards. From then your opponent has to shuffle their hand, field, and graveyard back into the deck, and they get no draws, so they'll be top decking, and you'll have an answer for every card they play, and it's probably a game for them at that point. Next up, I got the 1 Cosmic Cyclone, just for back row disruption and everything. Same thing with a single copy MST. Back row destruction, simple as that. One machine duplication, just because they're all machines that have 500 attack and defense. You summon out one despot, play machine duplication, get 2 more of the same one, and keep your plays going. You got your limiter removal, which is really good since they're all machines. You just double the attack of them to the end phase, and by the usually when you play this, you're going for game. So if the opponent can't stop it, you're probably dead. Then I got 2 downbeats, just simply because they're all Earth machines. So you get to pop one special, another one level lower, so you can manipulate the levels if you're trying to XYZ or sync or anything like that, or if you're just trying to get a specific despot on board. Next, I threw in something here I personally just like, cyberdragons, just because cyberdragons could go good with them, since the 1 gains attack of them and 2 gives them attack. Also threw in a power bond, a poly, and overlord fusion. Just so this is kind of like a smaller engine, so you get into like the cyberdragons extra decks and everything without going out your way too much. And I'm about to explain you here in a second why overlord fusion is really good in this deck. Next, we got up the extra deck for despots. You can really put anything in there. If they pretty much, if it's generic, if it's like 2 levels or 2 level 5s, 2 level 6s, you can really put in here. Because how they sync and just XYZ, you can just really go into it really easily. So I got 1 despot jet here, just because it's not. I personally don't use it too much, but it is still good. You can still really, if you need it out to your own monsters or out to your opponent's cards, that's what just is good to go into. Next, I have Goyo King. Before you say, oh my gosh, it's too hard to summon out, especially in League format. Actually, with despots, it's not. You can synchro summon like crazy, because 1 can special itself from grave, and then you can just keep on synchro summoning. And since all the levels, they have levels 1 through 9, it's pretty easy to go to Goyo King, even if you have to go into another synchro to synchro someone to get him. Next up, we got Crimson Blader. Still good. You kills a monster by battle. Your opponent can't special summon monsters level 5 or higher for that turn, which is certain decks it's still good in. But because of Link format, you can't stop links. So, but it's still good. Next is Black Rose. Always good. Your opponent has got like 3-4 links on boards. Black Rose in, blow it up, try again. And if you have despots on board, still good because you're still stacking your graveyard for things like 7 or 8 or just graveyard feel. Next, we got an Interior Barkion and Interior Beast. The FU just spells and traps. So you can play these guys, sit on them without locking yourself out the game yourself. You just negate their spells and traps all day while you're filling your graveyard and banishing what you really don't need. Next, we got Armades. Just because, he attack, can activate card effects, and then damage dealt. Really good. Simple level 5 to go into. Next, we got the Mrs. Radiant generic Earthlink. You can also use Cleafork Genius if you want to, just so you can go into it and have 2 more zones open up for your extra deck. Really good, and she also gives herself and all the other despot cards 500 attack. Next, then we got the Chimera Attack Fortress Dragon, Cyber Twin Dragon, Cyber End Dragon, and Chimera Attack Over Dragon. So with this is really good because if you have your power bonds or anything, then you can go into these 2 really easily. Chimera Attack Fortress Dragon is really good just because if you have a Cyber Dragon on board, you can kill all of your despot cards if you don't need them, and possibly your opponent's machine time monsters, just to get him to a high attack points. If not, he just becomes like a 5k beast stick, which is still really good, and it gets all your useless stuff off the field. Now, Chimera Attack Over Dragon is really good because when you play Overlord Fusion in the deck, you can also banish your despot monsters because they're all machines, and he'll get to a crazy high attack and be able to attack multiple times in a single battle phase. Next thing, you got your Big Eye. Because, generic rank 7 steals a monster if you really need to. That's pretty about it. Your Argon the Sea Cassium, just so you can pick away at your opponent's extra deck, make it drill it down, going from 15 to like 12 by your next turn. Just keep doing that, and you could, you know, detach, do effect, pop one on board, and just keep going. Photons track Bowser just to say F you to your opponent's card effects and whatnot, just because they want to activate something you don't like it. Just no. Nova, you can use Infinity with it. You can put Infinity here. You can go Nova, just 2 level 5s. Either specifically using the cyberdragons you can go into, or sit on it. I hope your opponent pops it with a card effect, so you can summon another cyberdragon fusion. And last but not least, we got an artifact Durando, just because when your opponent plays any card, you wanna make them think twice with the play, because you detach, make them target your own stuff. Your own special traps pop in, and if you have 5 or 6 in the pendulum zone, then you're getting their effects off also, or you could just fix your hand if your hand's bad, detach, everybody just shovels their hand back in and everything. Alright, that's it for today. That's it for today's deck profile. Team John went out.